Welcome everyone, it's Gray Shirt Guy and Rock the Gray Shirt as always. We did a studio update not too long ago. I worked on some Blade Guard veterans, but what I want to talk about today is the Warhammer Day preview for Warhammer 40k. And if you've already seen the preview, you know why I'm going to talk about it, because it's got the Imperial Guard. But we're going to go into just an overall discussion about what was revealed, some ideas I have, some hot takes I have. And yeah, so kind of strap in, get yourself a drink, figure it out, and yeah, let's kind of get into it. All right. Cool. So, celebrating 35 years of Warhammer 40k. We got a nice little preview. I'm not going to play the video, but we are going to be using the Warhammer community website. Just going to go through everything. I did watch the entire Twitch stream. It just happened to wake up around that time. But we got Astra Militarum. We got some World Leaders. We got the Arcs of Omen. We got Boarding Actions. And we got Kill Team Shadowbolt. And then the cheeky little preview, which I do believe is Dark Mechanicus. It could be Chaos Space Marines, but I really think it's Dark Mechanicus. All right, so let's get into the big meat and potatoes of the thing. All right, so we got the Cadia Stands Army Set box set. So it's going to include 20 troops, a command squad, a field ordnance battery, and a sentinel. I don't know if a battery includes 2 or 3 of those, because in the box they only show 2 of them, so I'm thinking a battery might just be 2, which would be interesting because the rule of 3 typically has 3. But if a battery fields 2, then eventually I'll have 3 batteries because I will have 2 of each. I'll have 2 of the... We'll get into what they are, but I'm not going to buy 3 army sets. That would be insane. I do plan on buying 1 army set so I can get the new rule book with a fancy cover and just a smattering of these newer troops to go with my now 20,000 points of Imperial Guard, because that is something that has changed. So let's kind of get into it. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Let me pop the zoom in so we get a little closer. There we go. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Okay, so no, it's not cut off. Good. Lovely box. Lovely. I really like the art. It's very grim dark. Like if you look at the orcs over there, like this. I just noticed this now. They're fighting some orcs, but these are some creepy looking orcs, and they're going in real close for those. So I think this is gonna be pretty good. I really wish that we would get like a massive lander model like you see in the background, because this is essentially looks like they've just been dropped off on this field, which is typically, in a realistic setting, this is not how you would employ your Imperial Guard. You wouldn't drop them off like this, but whatever. Yeah, so 20 Cadian shock troops, a command squad, a field ordnance battery, which leads me to believe that maybe rule-wise it's 1 or 2, but it could actually be 1 or 3, and they just decided for space-wise or cost-wise to only put 2 in there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's a speculation. Curious about that. I'm curious to see how many come in a field ordnance battery. It would make more sense to have just 1, because it's such a large base. It's a 100 millimeter footprint, so having more than 1 feels like it's going to take up a lot of space. But yeah, I don't know. It says it's a battery, so maybe it has at least 2. Would a battery I should probably look it up. Is a battery 2 or more? I don't know. Because I guess if it's not a battery, it's just a gun. Anyways, and a sentinel. I have 6 sentinels. I have 3 las cannon sentinels, and they're all armored sentinels just because, like, who takes scout sentinels? And then I have 3 flamer chainsword sentinels. I'm actually curious to see if the chainsword, apparently chainsword does get better, and maybe the flamer's a little bit better. That'd be pretty nice. And then, of course, plus the specific codex that we can't quite spoil yet. But, yeah. All right, so this is what we look like. This is now... There's a lot of things I like, and there's just some critiques. One thing I'm really hopeful is I'm very hopeful that supposedly the infantry are still on 25 millimeter bases. I don't know why GW does this. Maybe they don't think it matters. But if you have an entire collection of like 400 plus infantry that are on 25 millimeter bases, and then all of a sudden they come out and they say, okay, all infantry squads are now on 28 and a half, which is the GW 28. I'm like, well, either I got to get a whole bunch of ring slots, which can be 3D printed, but I don't want to print those in resin, and I don't want to run my FDM printer for like 17 hours printing like 400. I would probably just buy them from somewhere. Whoever makes the 25 to 28.5, I would probably just buy whatever I needed. But then again, would I even do that, or would I even rebase them? Probably not. Realistically, I probably would not rebase them. Just because I'm not going to go around and rebase 400 units. Maybe army by army if I was taken to a tournament and they had to be 28 and a half, maybe. But supposedly only the command squad units are on 28 and a half, which sort of kind of makes sense a little bit because they wanted to be a little bit bigger. But at the same time, I really hope they're not. I really hope they're on 25 millimeter bases, but probably not. It does look like those Cadians, the shock troops, are kind of taking up the whole base. So that would make sense that they're taking up the whole 25 millimeter base. One thing that was noted and was pointed out was this, let's see. This sergeant character right here does have what appears to be a drum magazine, which I don't think is later on in the more detailed preview. And the drum magazine probably is either an auto gun or a drum las gun, which up until this point, sergeants could not take las guns. There was a las pistol, plasma pistol, power sword, or bolter was what they were typically able to take, and I think that might be it, or chainsword. But they weren't able to take an auto gun, which that'd be pretty cool. I think some of the other versions of sergeants, maybe in Death Corps Crew, could take auto guns. Could be wrong, but it appears that what the rumor that I released a couple weeks ago, or probably about a month ago now, it does not appear to be true, which I'm super happy. They have not taken heavy weapon teams out of the infantry squad. What they have done is they have made the infantry squad as a troop choice, which still allows you to have heavy weapon teams. I'm hoping you can still keep one special weapon. Like, I'm hoping they don't really change infantry squads as they are right now, because then I would have to, like, retool my armies. But it appears that heavy weapon teams in infantry squads are still a viable option. But you now have the Cadian shock troop squad, or hopefully they just call it the shock troop squad, not the specific Cadian shock troop squad. But you now have the shock troop squad, which is might have faster movement. This might be why they're, I'm theorizing that maybe they're getting rid of move, unless move only applies to shock troops. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe instead of it being an order, like they haven't revealed anything, so I don't know how the order system's gonna be restructured. If they're going to get rid of it or they're going to keep it. Order's been around for a while, so I hope they keep it. But it appears that shock troops will be able to take more special weapons. Because if you look in here, this shock troop has a flamer and a melt-a-gun, and this shock troop has a plasma gun and a grenade launcher. So it leads me to believe that, at least in the shock troop squad, you can take 2 special weapons per squad, which would be pretty cool. And I'm hoping that they don't restrict it to where it can't be 2 of the same. Because I've seen that in certain armies where it's like, well, you can have 2 special weapons, but they can't be 2 of the same special weapon. I think we've seen a lot with Horus Heresy that, like, just doubling up on the same special weapon is probably a decent idea. I mean, realistically, I would probably go with Plasma Gun, Melt-A-Gun if I had to pick. But there is something to be said about, like, obviously, I don't think right now where we're at 60 points where infantry squads don't have any, like, upgrades don't cost anything, I don't think that's going to stay. I think we're going to go back to upgrades costing something. That's just my own personal idea. The command squad looks very command squad-y. You got yourself a medic, which looks pretty cool. You got your standard flag bearer. I'm pretty excited about that. Now, your company commander has got some new, apparently tons of new options. And you have just a veteran over here with a power fist. And a bolt gun. So typically you would have a company, like a platoon sergeant or something, you could take a power fist. I'm glad that they kept the power fist as an option, because obviously you could give the power fist to your company commander. So we got the company's command squad looking pretty good. The Sentinel, I'm not sure how I feel about Sentinel. The Armored Sentinel having like a little bit more bulkier armor on it versus Scout Sentinel. I do like there's a dedicated location for the Hunter Killer Missile. They have the, what do they call that thing? I forget what they call the thing. The Searchlight. The plasma cannon is looking pretty good, so I'm pretty happy about that. I am really curious as to what the upgrade for the Sentinel is, but let's keep going. All right, so it's more specialized than a standard infantry squad, leaving the heavy weapon team behind for greater mobility. So that's what they talked about. They mentioned that you can still take the infantry squad if you want the heavy weapons, but if not, you want to run. So let's look at some of these. So we got Definitely, I definitely dig the collapsible stock on the las gun. That's pretty awesome. The chainsword sergeant looking pretty good. One thing about these that is going to be mildly irritating is there's so much extra stuff on the model, and when you're painting, which leads me to believe, hopefully we still have the option of mass infantry, but there's so much detail on these. I mean, the Primaris have the same problem. There's so much detail on these now that painting these really quickly could be an issue. But I guess with contrast paint, you could probably get most of the khaki done really quickly and then shift on to the green. But anyway, let's go next. Okay, so we got the plasma gun guys, look pretty sweet. So the helmets, where the helmet peaks off in the front now, it's very different from the original Imperial Guard helmets, and I mean, it's good for water if it's raining, so it doesn't just like slide inward. So I guess it's all right. The integrated knee pads into the uniform, I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, I've seen plenty of uniforms where you'd have integrated knee pads, so it's fine. Just the straps, the excessive amount of strapping is a bit much. But the box unit's good. The flamer guy is pretty good. Just the random dude running forward, pretty good. Like all the details. We got the melted gun guys looking great. I like how they just like randomly did what is it? A woodland camo helmet. They're just like, yeah, let's woodland camo this helmet. But then his chin strap's not, like, is his chin strap not connected? It looks like it's not connected. Random dude running forward, getting ready to throw a frag grenade. Just another two Cadians. And it looks like they've mixed in both male and female heads, so it's pretty good. So that's where we got our Cadian shock troops, Cadian command squads, Ring Morphing Infantry 2. So we got the pretty much what we saw before. This part I thought was kind of funny on the, like, this antenna is really weird. I haven't seen an antenna shaped like this before, but you know, it's not a shape that doesn't exist. I've just never seen it, like, well, I've seen some radar antennas that do have weird funky shapes, so it's fine. Tactical rock, of course, you always have to have your tactical rock. And you know, he doesn't need his helmet. And then I'm really digging that we kept the Power Fist being super important. The medic looking pretty nice. I like how the medic does have the las gun. Is the medic gonna give the option of las pistol, las gun, or is the medic only gonna have las gun now? Because always had an option. Same thing with the standard bearer now has the las gun on his back. It's pretty good. I like that. And there we go. All right, so moving on to the new unit. A unit that doesn't exist. Unless you count the, what do they call those? The carriage units from Deathcore Krieg, which someone was like, we should get rid of those now that we have these. And I'm like, nah, I think the Deathcore Krieg Forge World stuff should stay. It's Forge World stuff. It's in the appendix. Not a lot of people are going to take it, and it's even if they're exactly the same, I think they should be distinctly different. Even if they're exactly the same rules-wise, which would be fine, I think that they should still be distinctive models that you can pick flavor-wise. But that's just me. So in addition to tripod-mounted heavy weapons, now we're getting wheeled larger artillery pieces. So we got large smoothbore cannons, multi-missile launchers, or heavy overcharged las guns. So this is interesting. So there was reading this a little closer, there was a bit of a confusion between this gun, from what I'm understanding, and this gun, from what I'm understanding. And so I thought this was going to be a mortar, but it appears to be a multiple missile launcher. So this is the multi-missile launcher, which that makes tons of sense. It looks like multiple missile launcher. It looks like you just load all the missiles in the front. You drop them in like mortars, and it launches tons of missiles off. Someone made a point that these look very similar to the assault bike wheels from the Space Marine kit, but I think they have they definitely have a different internal wheelbase. So although they look similar to the wheels, they're different enough. But yeah, so we got a nice little field ordnance. So I think this is the multiple missile launcher, which is good. It's like a stub-nosed, not MLRS. It's like a Katyusha rocket system, like a stub-nosed Katyusha rocket system with like shorter barrels. But I'm still gonna look at it and think mortar. but multiple missiles, that's fine. Large bore cannon. This being a cannon makes a lot more sense than this being a. This should be like an anti-tank or anti-medium tank. It would be great if this had an option. So this should be like large area suppression with blast, and having either this would just do high volume of fire, and this should be a possible option of like a crack round, like going straight through like an armor piercing round. I really wish they would fix the splitting down the middle when they make the barrels. Like you could sell the you can. I'm pretty sure GW can make a solid barrel, but whatever. You can always gap fill that. Same thing you can see right here. There's a little bit of like a crease red. Now a heavy las cannon. I'm really curious as to how strong a heavy las cannon is, because this is a beefy las cannon. This las cannon it's a 100 millimeter base. This las cannon is probably the size of a Land Raider las cannon, or maybe bigger than a Land Raider las cannon. And I'm curious, like is this like a little screen? Because I'm hoping that's a little screen, because that'd be kind of funny. As we see, we got a dude standing. We got the ordnance guy standing. We got an ordnance guy. We got one leaning forward. You got definitely different heads. That's a female head. That's a male head. That's a male head yelling. That's a male head. So lots of different heads. We got some goggles. We got some goggles on top of goggles. Got a little face. So lots of different options for dudes looking inside boxes. So curious to see how it's going to go. Let's see. So Ursula Creed was already revealed. I'm curious about, is Ursula Creed gonna completely replace the normal Creed, or are we gonna have two rules for both Creeds? Apparently this reveal is about half of what is gonna come to the Aston Militarum, so I'm curious as to what else is coming. Yeah, let's kind of keep going. We've been gushing about this for a while. So we got our multi-laser. We got our auto cannon, still chain sword. We got our plasma gun. One thing I haven't seen is the missile launcher or the las gun. So, I mean, hopefully those are still options that are still around. Like, I don't think they're going to get rid of those options specifically. But we do have the Scout Sentinel. Interesting how it has like a rear. Is that like a rear balancing piston? I'm curious as to what that is. So addition, okay. So we got two more, in addition to the miniatures containing launch, two more classics are getting well-deserved update. Okay, so these are not going to be in the box. These are going to be separate. So you have your Commissar, which I'm not a huge fan of this Commissar. If he's not in the box, I probably won't buy him separately. I have plenty of Commissars. Unless, if he's a multi-part kit where you have all the Commissar possible options, then I'll probably pick one up. Okay, yeah, so the Commissar is going to be separate, and then the heavy weapon teams are going to be separate. So basically, all classic weapons are still here. They call it a mini diorama. Hopefully it's still 60 millimeter base. Hopefully they don't change the base around. You got your missile launcher. For a moment I forgot that they took heavy bolters. I have heavy weapon teams. I just forgot they were a thing. We got a flare gun here. That's pretty cool. This guy is like, because realistically, if you're using a heavy bolter, the enemy is very close. So, and then two females on a lascan, and that's cool. Or two ladies. Two dudes on a mortar, yeah. That makes sense. And then two dudes on an autocannon team. Yeah, I'm liking it. I don't see what I see on the typical heavy weapon team, so I think these might be slightly beefed up. These bases do look a little beefed up. Maybe the troops are a little bit larger, which would make sense. But pro tip, if you're doing heavy weapon teams, this guy right here, and if you can get away with this guy right here, paint them separately. Don't paint them on the same. Don't paint them right next to each other. I've done that mistake with so many heavy weapon teams where I'm just like, oh, this is a lot of details not getting painted between these two guys because I can't get a brush in there. So, pro tip, paint these guys separately. Like paint them on a different base and then glue them on here and then do all your sand and everything. I do see the GW flock going on here. I've seen that before. Missile launchers are obviously a really good choice. I highly recommend missile launchers. Now, this is where we get into some interesting things. Let's read bits. Every Aston Militarum player can include these new Cadian models in the army as the new codex returns to the old days of mixing and matching regiments, which means fielding squads of shock troops alongside Death Corps Krieg or Catachin Jungle Fighters and more, instead of tying your troops to a specific world. So this kind of harkens back to 2nd edition? 2nd, 3rd edition? Whichever the... Me and my friend, we both believe that 5th edition is the best edition of Imperial Guard, but there was the edition before 5th edition, which had the option of different regimental traits, which was kind of interesting. Instead of tying your troops to a specific world, you create a regimental doctrine that fits your preferred playstyle by combining 2 doctrine rules. And I'm curious to see how many doctrine rules. I'm hoping we get at least 20 doctrine rules. Would be pretty cool. I would think that you should probably have 3 to 4 doctrine rules per original regiments, like per the original 10. Well, there were slightly more than 10, but there was about 8 to 10 like big ones. You had Cadians, Catachan, Valhallans, Vostroyans, Talarn, Praetorian Guard, Mordian Iron Guard, Steel Legion, Deathcore Kriegs. There were 9 primary main ones. You had Penal Legionnaires, which was kind of like an offshoot. That was mostly like an alternate version of a conscript, sort of. So you had about 10, and then you did get the Scions and whatnot. Those did come in later. So you could say you had 11, but I would say that if we had at least 20 plus different traits, that'd be cool. They don't have to do anything like super huge, but at least 2 per original regiment is something I'm thinking about. But yeah, okay. So basically, you get to pick 2 different options. For example, do you love ranks of infantry standing firm and volley fire in the face of mounted casualties? When you put cult of sacrifice and Predictive Doctrine, so you can basically add both Deathcore Krieg and Mordian together. So this one, so the first one, so units with this doctrine gain the cult of sacrifice keywords. What's that do? Each time a model with this doctrine makes an attack, that model's unit, if that model's unit was below its starting strength, then it, when it was selected to shoot or fight, add 1 to its attack roll. So basically, the whole idea is that if you have a unit of 10 guys and then you're down to 9 or less, you get an extra attack roll, like an extra shoot roll. Or no, add 1 to the... Okay, so you get to hit better. It's really good if you're trying to make like a melee guard, or you're trying to like really get up in there. Or if you're playing with a lot of conscripts, that'd be pretty cool. Then we got parade drills. If a unit with this doctrine remains stationary in your movement phase, then until the end of your next shooting phase, change the type characteristic of lasguns and hotshot lasguns. That's important. Models in this unit that are equipped with Heavy 2. So basically, instead of having, wait a minute, why would I do that? What are lasguns now? No, I don't like that. Hold on. Because right now, lasguns are rapid fire 1. What are they going to do? What is that? Why is that? So rapid fire 1, because that could be a problem. Until the end of your next shooting phase, change the type characteristics of lasguns. So I think hotshot is an assault lasgun with greater AP, but I think it's still 1. And regular lasgun is rapid fire 1. So if you're within half range, if you're within half range, you're going to get 2 shots with your lasgun, and then but if you stayed stationary, you're always going to get 2 shots. Heavy 2 doesn't really make heavy doesn't matter because you're already staying still. So I don't know why you would have made it heavy 2. I think you should just double the number of shots. I don't think you should change the characteristic of your weapon, unless heavy is going to matter. But heavy shouldn't matter in this case. Yeah, I didn't really read this too close before, but yeah, heavy 2 is weird. I don't know why you'd make it heavy 2. I would have just doubled the amount of shots I had, which if you're within half range, that would be really good. That'd be parade fire. You'd have like so much extra lasgun. You'd be able to shoot way more. So maybe at one point it was double the number of shots, or increase the number of shots, times 2, and maybe that was too strong, and so they went with heavy 2 to kind of tone it down from being ridiculously strong. Because if you're really close, first rank fire, second rank fire allows you to double shoot. I don't know how I feel about parade drill, but yeah, all right. So then we had some. So that is the Astra Militarum, and I'm excited about the new units. I'm definitely going to pick up this box. I'm probably not going to pick up the heavy weapon teams because I have so many of them already. But I'm definitely going to pick up this box. I'm curious. Mostly, I want the rules, but I don't mind getting the rest of these models. These models will be fine. I already have so much infantry, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with these guys. But let's move on. Let's go look at some more stuff. Sorry. So we have a Lord Invocatus. I didn't really need to get into... Yeah, I really need to get on the page. So, the World Eaters. Yeah, derp. Okay, so the Codex World Eaters. So let's scroll so you can see them. This is a new option for the World Eaters. So we saw a couple weeks ago, the Khorne Berserkers, which... yeah, anyways, I already talked about that a bunch. But... we saw the Khorne Berserkers, and now we see this new HQ, which is just a Khorne Lord, yeah, like Chaos Lord on Juggernaut. The preview video made it look like either A, there was a Khorne Demon's Chariot behind it, or there was a unit of additional World Eaters on some sort of steed. So that could be interesting. You could have this guy as your main dude, and then have a squad, like up to 3 maybe, Khorne Berserkers on Juggernauts, which would be interesting. The running forward, all the tactical rocks and everything, these are just harder to paint. Just gonna have to paint this separately. Also, is he realistically only being held on... is this a contact point right here and this a contact point? Or is the only contact point right back here? Either way. I do think the chainsword on the front of the Juggernaut's a little silly. I don't think I will buy this from a World Eaters, mostly just because, like, unless it's like really, really good, I don't think I'll buy it. It's not my jam, but it is cute because it is this apparently existed in metal, which makes sense. I actually kind of like this one a little bit more. Like, give me one of these, and then I'll put it on that base. Yeah, but I'm curious to see how the World Eaters turn out, because I do have a pretty decently sized World Eaters army, and I've got some upgrades for it that I really need to get onto the table. But yeah, and then let's go on to the next part. So the Arcs of Omen are basically just another... it's another battle thing. It's another new, not campaign thing, but it's a new battle thing. What do they call that thing? Not campaign. Like Vigilus Alone. Like, what's it out? So it's basically, there's Arcs of Omen, and let's see, Abaddon searches the galaxy to claim Imperial Naus once and for all, and launches his terrifying Arcs of Omen to scour the galaxy. So I think they're, like, going from place to place, but this also looks like a place. There's a lot of boarding action stuff. I'm curious to see how Knight players are going to deal with a boarding action kind of rule set. From what I understand, this is a completely different way to play Warhammer 40k with that doesn't affect match play, so that might be cool. Boarding actions is new terrain, which probably goes well with the Arcs of Omen. It's a new terrain set. I probably won't pick it up. It's probably not my jam. That's just like so much to paint. But yeah, let's get into... so before we get into the Shadow Vaults, let's briefly touch on this thing right here. So this really looks like this is definitely what do they call it? Dark Mechanicus. If you didn't know, in Horus Heresy, Dark Mechanicus is a huge Horus Heresy like side on the evil side. Dark Mechanicus is pretty much how Horus was able to pretty much do the Horus Heresy, but yeah, and so I'm pretty excited to see how this turns out. I will not make this army. I have no desire to make a Dark Mechanicus army, but seeing a Dark Mechanicus army on the battlefield will be really fun. I will enjoy that a lot. But let's get into Shadow Vaults. So I do not have a kill team force. I do not plan on playing kill team. I will not buy this box, but I will buy what comes in the box. So the Karsikins are the special elites. They have already said that there will be rules, hopefully, I believe, in the Imperial Guard rulebook for these guys. They're the Acadian version of Stormtroopers. And so they're pretty awesome. I'm really excited about those. I don't think I'm going to paint them this way, though. I mean, maybe. But you got Sergeant with Plasma Gun, Chainsword. Hopefully get all the options or more options. Like a Power Fist would be really cool for the Karsikin Sergeant. He typically had a Plasma Pistol and a Power Sword in the old metal models. We got ourselves a little Boxcaster. They always have Hellguns. I think these are called Hellguns. Maybe they changed them to Hotshot Labs, but I think they were called Hellguns. Got a little Demolition guy. I really like the heavy chest piece on the demo guy. Looks kind of like a bomb tech. Plasma gun. I really wish he wasn't plasma gun leaning forward, but that was kind of a. He is walking forward, so it makes sense. I really wish he was kind of standing back, shooting the plasma gun off. But you know, it's not terrible. Maybe it's just because they picked the walking forward. Maybe like this isn't monopose. Maybe that you can put this gun on somebody else and like kind of lean it upwards a little bit. Let's see. We got grenade launcher dude. I like grenade. I like the grenade launcher stance. He's definitely looking forward, seeing who he's about to thump with a grenade. Yeah, we got these do look like hot shot las guns instead of hell guns. Huh. They look very much like Scion hot shot las guns, which is How did they get this blue? Did they just edge highlight this soft blue everywhere? This bluish gray? I mean, it's beautiful. I don't know who did this, but they did a lot of work on this one gun right here. I bet you on the other side it doesn't look painted. I've heard that. I've heard certain showcase model painters don't paint the back because no one's going to look at the back. They only paint the front. I mean, obviously, you probably paint the whole thing, but like you only do details on this side because this is the only side that's going to get filmed, and you don't really do the details on the other side of the gun, which that would be sad, but you know, makes sense. One thing I like to note is none of the Imperial Guard preview models I've seen look 3D printed. So sometimes on the preview models you can see 3D printing lines on them. Like you could definitely see 3D printing lines on the some of the Horus Heresy stuff when they did the preview for the dreadnoughts, the Leviathan dreadnoughts. You can definitely see it, which you don't see in the plastic model, in the actual production model. But these ones don't have any, and which would make sense because I do believe these are going on pre-order next week. It looks like they just released today that Shadow Vault's pre-order is next week. And then we got the long las sniper rifle, really cool. Just a dude like reaching into his pouch, gonna grab something. We got the flamer, another hot shot, looking at his little fox thing. Yeah, so it looks like we have melt-a-gun, grenade launcher. So we have all the special weapons, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so that is that's the Carsigans. Special weapons. So it comes with the Necrons, which but I do like these little robots. These little robots are cute. And it comes with these. So a little bomb thing, a little heavy weapon on a trailer, a little saw, a little ammo weapon cache. Now, one thing that I won't be buying the Kill Team set, but I will be buying the Carsigans. They did announce that at minimum these, but probably most of the Necrons too. I don't know, maybe not the Necrons, maybe not. Definitely the Carsigans or the Carsigans, either way. These dudes will be separate. They will be in their own box, and so I will be picking up a set of these. I might, at the same time, when I pick up these, I might pick up the Deathcore Krieg Veterans box that was Kill Team. But I want to wait. I know I'm going to pick these up. I don't know about the Deathcore Krieg. I might just pick them both up. But yeah, so that is that's the Warhammer Day preview reveal. That's pretty much all they revealed. I don't think they. Yeah. So I mean, it was a good change from what they did on the last reveal day, because last reveal day they could have just they could have revealed this guy, just this one picture, and like that would have been great. They'd been like, hey, look, here's some guard stuff, and one guy. They didn't have to do anything else. But yeah, so I think that this was a pretty good reveal. Now, because of the way the regiment system works, because they've changed from specific regiments to you can take whatever you want, and then just pick your regimental doctrines, I will be mixing. So right now I have 9 Imperial Guard armies. I have Cadians, Catachan, Valhallans, Vestroyans, Scions, Praetorian Guard, Talarn, Steel Legion, Mordian Iron Guard. Okay, so I have 9. So I have 9 different Imperial Guard armies. I will be mixing them together if I take them to an army, or maybe even just when I'm playing stop motion. I will be mixing them together because I now, instead of having 9 2,000 to 3,000 point armies, I now have one roughly 20,000 point army, which is pretty cool. I will be mixing paint schemes left, right, and center, and so someone's like, "Well, why do you got your Mordian Iron Guard with your Talarn?" I'm like, because it's legal, and I'm going to do it, and nothing's going to stop me. But yeah, that was pretty much it for today. I did a Pokemon unboxing. I should be released. The video should be coming up around the same time. So if you want to see me unbox some was it Brilliant Stars? I think it was Brilliant Stars. Check that out. Probably pulled some good cards. If you're following me on Instagram, please do. I posted a quick reel for the Blade Guard veterans I finished yesterday. They're looking really nice. They're really popping. I really like how bright the blue is, and on contrast with the gold and the blue together work really well. I did not recess shade it as much as you would typically see, and that was intentional. If you pick the model up and you flip it upside down, you can see it's heavily shaded from the bottom, but it's zenithal from the top to be very bright. And I didn't do recess shading because I didn't really feel that kind of armor scheme really led to recess shading. It was supposed to be very bright. If you look at the reference picture in the codex, there's not a lot of shading in it. I did shade the infiltrators, but after I did it with the airbrush, one, it was easier and faster, and two, I didn't really feel that it was necessary to shade the front part of it. I mean, somebody professional painter will probably look at it and say, yeah, you probably could have, line shaded. And I probably could have, panel lined highlights, but just didn't feel like it. I think it came out really well. So if they're on Instagram, I'm not going to be doing a YouTube video about my Lantean Spears until the army is done. So if you're looking for a YouTube video, I'm not going to be doing that. But what I'm going to be doing right after this is I have a bunch of models to put away. So I have all my Blood Ravens that are sitting out on the table. I got to go put those away. If you see, we got the Blood Raven back here. He's just hanging out. And other than that, that's been it. If you wanted to support the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. What did you like? What do you like about the Astra Militarum? What else do you think is coming? I don't think we're going to get individual regiment bits. Some people have been really wanting regiment bits for like all the other regiments. I think we might get updated Catachans. That might be a thing because they've been doing a lot of Catachan stuff lately. I do think we will be getting an updated Catachan sprue box set or box. But I don't think we're gonna get Praetorian Guard. I don't think we're gonna get Mordians. I don't think we're gonna get Steel Legion. If we get any of those, like if we get a regimental options box where it's just cool options for each regiment, and like you could potentially, I don't know, make 10 models for each like if you have a sprue and like this is the Death Korga Krieg sprue and this is the Catachan sprue, and you get like a bunch of options on there, that'd be cool, that'd be neat, but hopefully they don't make it to where you can only make 5 Catachans. That would suck. And then I think we're gonna get some sort of a tank. That'd be all right. I don't think we're gonna get a revamped Lehman Russ. I hope we don't. I hope now if we get a different Lehman Russ, I'm hoping that whatever this alternate tank rumor thing is, it'd be cool if we got a Lehman Russ with a conversion beamer. Or a Volkite cannon. That'd be really cool. I mean, so Forge World has a tank that is essentially a Lehman Russ that has a Volkite or twin las cannons. It's from the Solar Auxiliary, but you can take it in 40k. It does have 40k rules. So I think that would be cool if there was like a plastic version of that where it's like, hey, it's both 30k, but you can also take it with your Astra Militarum army. I think that'd be pretty neat. But yeah. Rough Riders would be cool. Yeah, Rough Riders would be really cool. So, but aside from that, those are things I'm looking forward to. But I'm kind of keeping an open mind, seeing what we got. Still really salty about what they did with my air cav, but we'll make do. But yeah, I'm gonna do some work, probably play some Fallout or maybe play some Dawn of War. But you guys have a great Sunday, and yeah, I'll see you around next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.